Her skal vi to ikke bare folde det her ud. Stå med åbne arme, så vi smiler, stå for skud. Og ikke holde ned.
Okay, I think that now it should be in focus. So I was recording on my phone, but now that is loaded because there's not enough space for all the things I want to say. What was I saying? So yeah, I decided that I will spend the money I would have spent on a room, like a full room, because now I'm living a bit cheaper in the hostel, and then every now and then I have a little getaway where I can make videos, I can record my podcast. If you haven't checked out my podcast, do check it out. As you guys can tell from my previous videos, I am feeling a lot better. Like, life feels a lot better. How are you guys? It's been so long. Happy 2020 first of all. It's a new year, new opportunities, new possibilities. I love the new year mainly for that, and just transition into the new year with reflection on the fact that we freaking made it. Like, y'all, okay, I'm not gonna keep talking about this forever, but last year was shit. It was absolutely shit. But like I always say, like, shit in the good way, like manure. I feel like I grew a lot. I got more grounded, I got more focused. I feel lighter. I feel like I have tools that I can use that I couldn't maybe have gotten any other way. And either way, I really do believe that life, it happens for you, not just to you. So I know that I can always use whatever happens for my own betterment. Okay, so this is like my new journal. I'm actually not done with decorating it. I'll be doing that at some point, like, and maybe I'll make a little video of like preparing a new journal and show you a bit like what I do, because my old journal now is almost fully used up, and I wanted to start a new year with new vibes. So I wrote some notes down of things I like to update on. First of all, I like to say this video is everywhere, and I will almost apologize for that, but just as the chaos of me getting back into things, so do have patience with me, and we will get through it eventually. Okay, we'll start with number one. Where am I? I currently live in Lisbon, and I love it. Okay, so a few years ago, I did a road trip here with my sister and her partner in Portugal, and I was just like it was like 5 years ago. Oh my god, I'm so this is gonna be happening a lot. I haven't had my hair like this in a while, and I just loved it. And I was like, oh, I wouldn't mind living here one day, because it's also in the south of Europe. It's warmer. You know me, I love my warm weather. So also it's yeah, it's not that far from Denmark, so you can go home if you want to go home. Like, I was open to the idea of moving here one day. I just didn't know it would happen this fast. Like, that's like the universe, like, I don't know, alignment, like things just started moving and shifting, and then boom, I live in Lisbon. But I'll go more in detail about that in another video. So that's update number one. I've moved from Copenhagen, and I am currently living in Lisbon, which is also great for me because, like you guys know, I was in Brazil before. So I started learning Portuguese, and I like to continue learning Portuguese. So this is a great place for me to do that. What is next? Love. So some of you might be like, oh, but May, where is Tina? And that's a great question. Where is Tina? So Tina, if you're new here, by the way, welcome to the new people on this channel. Every now and then, I look at my email address that is connected to this. I'm like, oh, new subscribers. I'm like, I'm not making anything, but it's funny that people are still subscribing. So thank you for coming to my little tribe. Things happen as they happen here. There's nothing perfect, but I love living a holistic life. And for me, that just means being whole in my own life, and hopefully inspiring you guys to do the same. But yeah, so that's what we do here. We do all kinds of things that are in the umbrella of living a holistic, full life with joy and with compassion and with some style. Love. So Tina is still in Brazil. He is still finishing his course. I was supposed to join him, but then a lot of things happened, so that's not happening anytime soon. But now that I live in Lisbon, it might be a bit easier for us to reunite it somehow, some way. But before all that, we also had decided for a break. Like, we still love each other, we still talk, everything. I believe in love that is always freeing and encouraging of each other to grow. And I've always, like, from the beginning, I was like, I would rather you are happier and more, and you experience more growth without me than forcing you to be with me, than you being with me but not growing. Like, I've always wanted to cultivate free love in the sense of not just in monogamous sense, but like love that liberates the person to be their best self, whatever that might look like. So a few things happened in the beginning of last year that just made us go like, you know what, maybe it's best for the next few months we just try to figure our lives out separately. It felt like the right thing to do. It was not because we are out of love, we don't want to be together, but just that it made sense that we focus on our lives individually at that moment, which I'm really grateful for. And maybe that was also the reason why it added to me going through one of the hardest parts of my adult life. But Tina was still one of my greatest supporters in that time, and I'm so thankful. And it just made me feel like I have found somebody who is like a life companion, because even if we're not together in that sense, we still can love each other and want to take care of each other, and that goes both ways. But yeah, in the meantime, don't get scared, don't get freaked out. We're also dating other people, but that's a whole other thing I'm gonna share with you. Right now it's okay because I've been through it and I'm okay like saying that out loud. So if you see me with someone, if you see him with someone, don't worry, we both know about it. I'm not just dating some people, I'm dating someone else, and that person happens to be a woman. I think I'll go into that in another video. So basically, 2 years ago, I just found out that, hey, I thought I was straight as an arrow, and then it turned out I'm not. I'm telling you this now because by the time you hear this, I've already written a blog post about it. So 2 years ago, I found that, and now I feel like I'm ready to just like be, to share that. I wouldn't say I'm coming out because, to be honest, I've just realized something about myself. Everybody's always growing and expanding, and it's been an interesting experience, but it's something I really care for as well. And I think what is happening feels more like polyamorous, but like it's a lot at this moment, and it's a lot to figure out, and it's not always blissful. We're all trying to figure out how that will work. So while Tyner and I are not together, that's what's happening on my side, and he's also seeing other people, but we're still very much a part of each other's life, and we still love each other, and we're still supportive of each other, growing in whatever path that may be. If it ends up in the future that we do end up together as a full couple, great. If it doesn't, I know that he still, and I still want to be a part of his life as long as possible, because I don't think I could ever imagine or create or find somebody as beautiful inside and out as Dinah and the love we have. But yeah, so that's that on that. But I think I could go more into it in another video about love and sharing your love and experiencing love for more than one person. Because I've always been pretty monogamous, and I always thought that I've always been okay with the idea of open relationships and loving other people, but I just never thought that I would be polyamorous. But then again, I also never thought I would be queer. I'll just say that life keeps surprising me. I keep surprising myself. And at the end of the day, I'm just glad to stay open to life and grow. And you guys will be on that journey with me as well. Okay, what else do I want to share? Mental health. Right now, we're doing great. A few months ago, not so great. I started going to therapy last year, and then I stopped because I started like getting ready to do my second exhibition with Not the Norm, which is, oh my god, there's so much to share, like I don't even know. Okay, when I stopped working my part-time job, which was almost also killing me, But I don't know if it was the job or just that I was already fragile mentally and that just made it worse. I was doing something that was very interactive and social, and as somebody who's was really highly sensitive and I'd taken too much stimulus, like that didn't help. So luckily I found a therapist who actually understood that, and the first thing she'd say, because we had a little 30-minute where she was just asking me about my life to see if we were fit, and then when she heard that I was working where I was, it was like this, it was a nice place, like it was this cafe in Denmark. And remember, like I got that job just because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be in Denmark for a few months, I'm gonna get some money on the side, work on my projects, and then go back to Brazil. Like that was the idea. But then like I was like, oh, okay, I'm not going back to Brazil, let's see what life can be now. And I was working at a restaurant that I really like because they have like great food and it's natural food, and they have great vegan food. Like I ate well, but inside I was dying apparently. And that like just heightened my depression also because my sleeping rhythm was messed up, like everything was just messed up. And I realized how important routine is for me, and doing late night shifts that were in a place that was very crowded with a lot of stress, not only my own stress, but my colleagues' stress, the people ordering stress. Okay, bear in mind, when I applied for this job, like I would never dream of working somewhere if I saw that it was that hectic. But when I applied to work for that place, apparently it was low season, and I just thought that's how it would be. And then summer came around, spring came around, all the tourists flooded Copenhagen, and it was hell for me mentally. And my depression kicked in fully, to the point where I almost felt suicidal. Not almost, I did feel suicidal. And I was like, okay, shit. Because I'm usually very self-reliant and I try to do everything by myself and to know myself. But at that point, I had to realize that, hey, I need help. I can't do any more by myself. And so I finally got a therapist, and she's a black woman, and she was amazing. And we had a few sessions together, and that helped me to get out of my depression. But that's a whole other video by itself. And it taught me more about living holistically with the kind of person I am, not just to understand myself as a, like I always say, that the best way you can live a life where you thrive is by understanding yourself and putting yourself in the right situations for you to thrive. But you can't do that if you don't know yourself. So I've learned more about myself, and I've become more aware of just what I need to thrive, and I'm really grateful for that. My mental health now is so much better, and peace of mind is a high priority for me in 2020. Peace of mind, and that is not just from external forces, but also from my own self. Like not overstressing stuff. Like even like this whole thing, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna be late. I don't have a lot of hours to film. I was like, whatever, we'll film what we can film with the light we have, and then we're going to enjoy the rest of the day. And also tomorrow morning, when I wake up, I'll film before I leave, because I'm only renting it for one night. I feel like that makes more sense, since I'm only filming for one day. But like, maybe next time I'll take the full 2 days. And I hope I come back in this place, because I really like it. It's a cute place. So as I say, peace of mind is one of my top priorities now. Staying zen and balanced and grounded, like it's a daily practice. It's not just something I do here and there, but like, and that is what my depression taught me, like how small things that you don't pay attention to can build up, and suddenly you've dug a hole too deep and you cannot crawl out of it. So what I try to do is like literally sweep my brain daily to make sure that I don't collect a lot of crap. And to really respect my nature. Very important, because you need to respect your nature before you can demand it or ask it of anybody else. A lot of the time, we want other people to accept us, when the truth is that we are having a hard time accepting ourselves as we are. So just that, you might think it's because you fear other people accepting you as you are, but most of the time you are your biggest bully, you are your biggest discourager, your biggest stressor is you. And just to be mindful of that and constantly go within and be like, do I really need to, like for example, the whole thing with Diana and I and this other person that I'm having a relationship with, old me will be freaking out about that because the logistic of that is a lot. But new me is like, we're gonna take it day by day. I'm gonna focus on what I really feel the truth is for me, which is I love these people. They just happen to be more than one. I don't know how we're gonna make it work in the future, but that's not my job right now because just now I need to make this work. And of course, we are all adults. We are all aware of the situation, and I free the people I love also to choose what's best for them. So it's not like we have to force this to make sense. If it doesn't make sense for one or the other, it's okay. We can release each other with love as well. So like just taking those kinds of approaches to life, to things that would otherwise like really trigger anxiety and overthinking. I'm just like taking a different approach, and I'm proud of myself for that because it shows growth. I was a big worrier, but now I feel like I'm becoming more of a Zen warrior. So I'm trying to be more of that, like mastering my own Zen and mastering my own calm and having that be the state of my being and where I take all my decisions and where I reflect on all points of my life, but also allowing, of course, sometimes you have chaos, sometimes you're angry, sometimes, but always like making an effort to come back, come back, you know? So I'm really grateful for that and all these challenges from work to money to relationship to where I'm gonna live. All of these things have helped me to become better at staying present, balanced, and zen. And for that, I'm very grateful, to be honest. Also, the job I have is my first like proper 9 to 5. So after university, I did a lot of random stuff. To be honest, after university, I was like, I don't need a job right now. No, actually forget that. I don't want a job right now. I am going to chill a bit and then figure out life. But then like I did other part-time jobs, and then eventually I'm here and I'm doing my first proper 9 to 5 job. And it's a job I would have never imagined doing. Let's be clear, this is not my dream job. It's just the job that allows me to get my foot on the ground, get food, get housing. And that's also growth for me, to detach my idea of what I need to be doing right now. So the job I have, the biggest priority was for me that it was low stress, which it is. It has a clear schedule. So far it does, like Monday to Friday. I get up at the same time, I go to work at the same time, so I can like organize and make a routine around that, which I love and I'm really grateful for. What else? And I work with people from all over the world. It's like a communication company, or like when I say call center, you're gonna think like we're calling people, but that's not really what we're doing. Like people call us about what they need us to do, and then we help them do it. So I'm literally fixing people's problems, which I love because I feel like it also gives me more practice as for my work as a holistic life coach and guide. I love actually interacting with people. I love working with people. The difference here, I think, compared to like when I was working at the restaurant is also because when I worked at that restaurant, that was also my goal, to learn more how to handle more problem solving, interacting with different people from different backgrounds, different anxieties, different problems, all of that. You get it a lot in customer service. So I saw it as a way for me to like be a part of the field, but also to get something back. Of course, to make money, have money, that's important. But like also a way for me to work on my craft, on my people skills. So ironically, I work here in Danish because it's a Danish company, and it's a wine company. I'm not gonna say too much because maybe you don't need to know all that, but it's a wine company, which is very. So I work for that company, and I love the place I work. I love the job I do, weird enough. Not like, oh my god, I want to do this forever, but it fulfills a purpose. It doesn't wear me out too much, and it pays me well enough to live comfortably here. So I am glad that it exists and that I have it. I'm just grateful. I'm really grateful for it because the way it came to me, like I said, it was alignment. It was beautiful and it was zen and it was manifestation, I would say, but that's another video, okay, of all these things that I'm learning about how to align myself, and then it's easier for you to flow into your life path when you are able to be balanced and stay centered. But yeah, we'll talk about that in another video. So yeah, I have my first 9 to 5, and I'm also learning how to stay holistically healthy in a 9 to 5, especially my job is that, which is like customer service. Learning how to relate to, obviously, most people in the world have 9 to 5 jobs. They're not doing part-time jobs, living in Brazil on a farm. And also I live in a city. The way I am seeing this experience is a way to learn how can I incorporate the things that I find easier to do when I'm having a part-time job or working my own hours, living in a more quiet, slow-paced place like nature. How do I bring all those things here? I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about how it's easy to be zen on the mountain, but we have to find ways to bring our zen to the city, to the busyness, because otherwise what we're saying that everybody has to escape the city, which don't get me wrong, that is the ultimate plan. But like the majority of people need to find way to find balance while they have 9 to 5s, while they don't have a lot of money. So it's been good for me to learn how I apply all those things, but in a more realistic setting for most people, because it's easy to do that when you're on your own schedule, when you have your own little job and you can go home when you like. That is much easier, and this is a challenge for me, for myself, but also when I work with other people, when I have clients, when I have workshops, which is something I'm most excited to start doing. And it gives me an opportunity to practice that, right? So I hope that inspires you, like wherever you are, even if you want to be somewhere else, don't let where you are make you feel like you're wasting time. I don't believe in any time wasted anywhere, in any decision being a mistake. I always believe that everything, if you have the right mindset, is preparing you for your path, for your goal, for your destination, which doesn't really exist. We're always going. We're going until we're done. We're gone. But yeah, like it's important to have, for me, to have that mindset. What can I learn from here? How does this help me become better at what I eventually want to do? So having such a job, but having the opportunity to go away for the weekend, make videos, go to classes, like go to workshops, create workshops, like that for me is a great blessing that I'm excited to experience. And I really thought it would be hard for me to work a 40-hour week, but surprisingly, I'm doing great. And for that, I'm very proud of myself. Maybe for the most of you, that's not a big deal, but for me, it is, because at some point, that was a fear for me, like, oh my God, that sounds like a trap. But the key is, I don't want to get so used to the comfortability of a 9 to 5 that I abandon my goal of being more self-sufficient and being my own boss eventually. But I do see this as a stepping stone towards that, so that's great. I hope that you also see wherever you are as, as something you can use as a stepping stone to where you want to go. Okay. The last thing is obviously, I mentioned earlier already that I am living in a hostel, but that has been a great choice. Just to be honest, I feel like my life is floating in a good pace. I feel aligned, even though I'm doing things that past me wouldn't think were aligned, or living in situation like the 9 to 5, living in a hostel. I don't have a proper place. I'm still living out of my suitcase, all of that. The old me would be like, wow, this is why you feel peace. But that's the thing I learned last year, that it has nothing to do with external stuff. You can have balance, focus, zen, and happiness in whatever moment you're in. It's not something, and that's the most powerful kind of balance and joy and happiness. It's the one that is just you, self-created. It's the one that you don't have to have that, do this, be here. in order to have. And I'm trying to remind myself of that constantly. Because luckily I got to this mindset before moving to Lisbon, before getting the job, before things were looking up. I got to this place where things still look very dark, hopeless, and all that, and depressing. I managed to have a moment where I just trusted. I surrendered, like my therapist said. I surrendered because I was like, I feel like I'm giving up. She's like, no, you're not giving up. You are surrendering, and that's a beautiful place. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm no longer fighting myself all life. I'm just, like my wonderful aunt says, it is what it is, and I am okay with what it is, and I know I'll be okay with whatever will be, because it's about me and not it, right? So basically, this is a long video, but that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I feel good and I'm well, and as always, I look forward to taking you guys on this adventure with me. Thank you for the people who've sticked around. Also for the people who see this and like, oh, I'm not feeling this anymore. I'm a big believer in transition. Like, if you don't feel this anymore, if you don't feel my channel, my vibe, I free you. And free yourself. Kaka, fly off somewhere else. But for the rest of you who are enjoying this and excited about what's gonna happen next, I'm excited too. I don't know what, but we're gonna be present for it, and we're gonna be rooted through it, and we're gonna try to stay holistically healthy through it. And that's mind, body, soul, and surroundings. So I hope that you stay tuned for that. Otherwise, if you miss me, Instagram. If you want me in your ears, I have a podcast. Check that out. And I'm also working on my little marketplace to start selling my stuff. I know I've been saying that forever, but things take the time they take. I no longer like have these high expectations of myself that I have to no. Before, I really pride myself on the fact that I was so consistent regardless what happened. I was always making my stuff. I was always true to my word, which is a great virtue that I still like to live close to. But I've also accepted to live in flow with life. So that's the vibe that will be here. I'm not going to make any big promises, and I'm going to show up every now and then, and I hope more often than not. But either way, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sharing life with me, and I'm excited to keep sharing life. And that's a big thing from a girl who felt a few months ago that there was no value left in life. So, and also, yeah, take care of yourself mentally. Like, make that a priority, even if you need help.